Hi, I am Chris, also known as Pink if you're on a trail. And my call sign is KQ4CRY. I make everybody cry, or that's what James says anyway, ham radio adventure guy. And I've been active in ham radio for about 3 years. I got licensed. I've gotten my general. And I watch the ham radio kids table with great fervor and anticipation every week.
Hey, this is Leif, KC9 RHF, Real Hot Fire. You're watching Ham Radio's Kids Table.
This is John, W4JDM from the Sumner County Amateur Radio Association, and you're watching the Ham Radio Kids Table. Kids Table. Wow.
Hey, this is Vince, Ham Smarter with VE6LK. Now, I have a slight suspicion Tim might flub this up. So, just in case. Good afternoon, noon. Welcome to the Ham Radio Kids Table. We are not your grandfather's ham radio. We'll rent you the seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Oh man, I was taking bets in the chat to see if Tim was going to flub it up.
No, God, no, absolutely not.
That's
Although
why you had the Vince clip there.
That's right, absolutely. Well, Vince sent me a message earlier. Vince sent me a memo, and on the memo it said, "Tim, play my special intro," because I don't want you goofing it up tonight. Because we have a very, very, very special guest with us, and that is Aaron AE0LZ. Or otherwise, everybody knows him as Modern Morris, or Aaron Makes Keys on Instagram. And Aaron is the designer of the Nameless V0. Is that the full name of the key, Aaron?
Yeah, the Nameless V0.
Nameless V0.
I wish I had a good story behind the name, but there's no story.
Well, I think it's a cool story in itself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All righty. So welcome everybody to the Ham Radio Kids Table. It is another Wednesday night, and we are here just to go around real quick around the horn, just kind of introduce everybody. I got Frank. Everybody knows him as Frank. Frank, what's going on? What's going on tonight, my friend?
Yeah. See, I'm no Tink Radio, but I'm Frank. No, I'm Choo Choo Frank, according to Minnie. So maybe we'll have to come up. I'll come up with something with that. Maybe. Not much is going on. I know we do not have Ham Nation tonight, so this will be a nice long episode tonight. And great to have Aaron on as always. And I see Quirky in the chat. Maybe we can pull a Clubhouse and get him to give something away on the show tonight.
No, we don't ask our guests and participants to do that. But
well, I mean, it was Quirky, and he has that new heated mat, and it's fantastic.
Buy one. Use code K3Jersey Quirky, I think it is.
Or KG6NL, you Quirky.
All righty. Well, there you go. Jeff, what's going on, my friend?
Fun times, trying to get some stuff done. Two things. My 2,000 subscriber giveaway packages have been packaged up, labels bought, printed, stuck on the boxes, and probably go to the post office tomorrow to drop them off. And for all you Americans out there, which is probably most of you, time changes on Sunday morning. We will be in EST starting Sunday. So for those companies and people that use EST all year, you'll finally be correct. I do get a big kick out of seeing professional companies, people from like YouTube and other companies around the world use EST all the time. It's like it's August or whatever, and it's EDT right now. They have no clue. It's like they skipped that in school or somewhere. One of my pet peeves, but yep, that's what's going on.
Up until about, I guess it's been a little over 20 years ago, we were on standard time here in Indiana, and that was so nice. And I grew up with standard time, so our prime time started at 7:00 when everybody else had switched.
Yeah,
I think it was primarily in the summertime, so you didn't have to wait till 11:00 to see the news or Johnny Carson or anything like that. But
Jeff,
Yeah.
Jeff, you will be happy to know that ChatGPT uses GMT, Zulu time, because I had something the other day and it dated it in date time format, and I'm like, wait a second, that's not the current time. Oh, that's GMT. So
Yeah.
they use GMT there.
Yeah, it's great working for a company that uses every other time zone. They use UTC, they use London time, they use like East Coast US, West Coast sometimes. It's like you just gotta figure out where you're at. Sometimes you don't know where you're at.
Well, Central Time is the best time.
For some people.
Frank, I don't know what's
who
wrong
live
with you.
there.
Between saying Central Time is the best time and pronouncing aluminum as aluminium, I'm not sure
Yeah.
what's going on with you, Frank.
Tim, there's a lot wrong with me according to some people. Don't forget, I put the U in neighbor and color too.
You're nuts. I used to do that just to piss off people, but
Aaron's like, what the hell have I stepped into?
What time is it?
I'll be
And,
darned. Aaron's on Central Time anyway. So,
and we have Aaron here.
Aaron, what's going on, my friend?
Oh wait, does the stream work? Am I pointing at Jeff right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you backwards?
Am I backwards? I think
don't
maybe
know.
I am. I'm holding up my left hand.
Oh, hold on.
No, you're fine. That was
You're
my
right.
right.
You're
Yeah.
correct. Make up your mind.
Wait, what hand did you have up?
I was messing with you. That's my right hand.
Yeah, you are backwards.
Good.
Cool.
Problem solved. Now you're looking
Oh,
at
no.
Jeff.
Oh no, now I'm looking at Jeff. Okay, cool.
Okay.
There we go.
So what's going on, Aaron?
Well, I made it to the stream just in time. I sped back after actually buying a webcam because the other webcam I had, the wire wasn't working well on it. Yeah, been busy in the shop making keys. I got the machine shut off right now because you wouldn't be able to hear me if I was machining at the same time. So as soon as we get off the stream, I'll probably run them for another couple of hours. So yeah. Thanks for having me on. This is I think this is my first YouTube stream I've ever been on.
That is awesome.
Another person.
Is awesome. So I noticed. I think you were doing a little bit of live streaming earlier today on Instagram. Was that?
Yeah, so I kind of the only social media I really do is Instagram for the business, and I occasionally if I'm doing assembly or if I'm doing lasering, because a lot of people like to see the fiber laser running, so I'll just live stream. I just set up the camera, face at the where the workspace for the laser, and I'll just start burning out serial numbers and logos onto the keys. And some people like that. I've actually had some customers that have popped in and been like, "Hey, I just ordered a key. It's red. Do you have one there?" And I'll add in a couple extra little Easter eggs or put their call sign in if they happen to catch me on the live stream.
So Aaron, well, technically, yes, this is the first live stream like this that you've been on. You have been on live streams before.
Frank, stop it. He wants the kids table to be his first live stream, and let's leave it at that.
Are you talking
out back, Frank, and beat you?
Are you talking as a guest or?
Well, we are all guests on Saturday night for the after chat.
Oh yeah. Okay, on Josh.
That doesn't count. That's audio only.
Yeah, that's audio only.
Yes.
I'm a nameless troll when I'm on a Ham Radio Crash Course. So.
No, but we all know your name.
We're not going to say it. Don't make that link. He's like Ape without his call sign, right?
Right.
Aaron does not want to be linked to his Discord username.
My alter ego. Yeah,
There
it'll
you
be
go.
out there. Now that you've made that a mystery, I'm being doxxed actively
All right.
by chat as we speak. Yeah, somebody will put it in chat. Oh no.
Yeah, well,
If somebody in chat knows it, I would be surprised. I mean, nobody has figured out Ape's call sign yet, so you're safe.
Yeah, there you go. Cool.
well, I'd say all they have to do is go look at the FCC call sign database, but well, that seems to be unavailable. So there
And
you
people
go.
are lazy, so
I don't understand how a computer system can go down. I mean,
You know what's funny? It's shut down on the shutdown day, so
you'd
yeah,
you'd be surprised why some computer systems shut down.
yeah. There's a Mac Mini somewhere in a closet that somebody has to power on every day.
Yeah,
I don't think
that
that
could be
database
true.
is. I don't think that database is that sophisticated.
That's fair.
I think they're probably using the old bumps database that the VA created.
Their computers are probably 20 years old, and it hasn't been updated in years. So their backup is one that's been sitting in a closet for 25 years.
I will tell you the one benefit of it being down is that I was doing POTA the other day, and I had like 3 or 4 people give me their call signs with, stroke AG, and I was able to, hey, congratulations on the upgrade. You never hear that on the air anymore because normally they'll upgrade on it, take a test on a Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. It's showing on the database, so they don't even have to stay it. So
Sometimes, yeah, it depends.
See-
I do remote VE sessions on Saturday nights. So like when I got my extra, the next day I was out doing Parks on the Air and I was doing AE because I know it wasn't until like Tuesday or Wednesday when it got into the database.
yeah.
But
So,
I mean, right now, yeah, everyone we're telling that upgrades that you can use your new privileges. You just got to use Stroke AG or AE. But for those technicians, they just get their license. Like, you're going to have to wait. Sorry to tell you.
And that I tell you what, that I think that's probably the biggest disservice. The
Yeah.
ones that are general extra, not a big deal, right? They can continue to operate. They've already got the privileges. It's the ones that don't have the call sign yet that are having to wait on top of, already going through the whole hassle of having to get prepared and study and make it through that first test and then theoretically wait I'm assuming that people today are already not taking the test knowing that they're going to have to wait for some period of time, but those people in that first couple days that had no idea that was going to shut down along with it, that could I would be frustrated.
Yeah, I've seen the numbers for the VEC that I VE for. Our numbers on the weekends have been down for at least some of our sessions. I haven't seen all of the numbers, but for 2 weeks in a row, we didn't have any candidates, or 1 week and then there was, and then the next week after that, there wasn't again. I think some people are put off because they can't get their FRN, and a lot of clubs and organizations that do testing, they say you have to have your FRN number to do this. And people are like, well, I don't have it, so I guess I can't do it. I think that could be one reason. Maybe the fact that also due to the shutdown, they said, well, it's not going to probably get done. So I'll just wait until I can get it right away, get my license right away, my call sign to me. So
yeah,
see,
that's what I think.
Even though mine was like 36 hours later, I still use Stroke HE for like a week, just for my own little celebration of, hey, I'm Stroke.
Yeah, I used it on HF the next day, and then like on the repeaters, I used it for the next like day and a half or something like that, just to tell people like, yeah, I took my exam and I passed. So,
Frank, did I just hear you say you were stroking?
Sure.
I think that's what I heard you say. Somewhere in between there, I think I heard you just use the words, I'm stroking. Now, I don't know if you were stroking out or...
Oh, like Billy, what's his
but-
name? Oh God.
So because we probably won't have the time next week, happy birthday to Julie and Vaughn's son, and happy birthday to Julie next week.
Yeah.
Billy Squire. There you go. I couldn't think of the guy's name.
Billy Squire, stroke's the word.
Yeah.
Stroke man. Or I think the song was just labeled stroke, right?
Yeah, it is
Stroke.
labeled just stroke.
Yeah.
Oh, let me go check that. I just looked it up by his name. I couldn't remember his last name.
You're like, gosh darn it.
Yeah, no.
So I gotta ask, you call sign Alpha Echo 0 LZ.
A stroke.
Is LZ have any meaning for you, or was it just what popped up in the?
It is literally a randomly assigned call sign when I upgraded. I've actually had 3 call signs. I had one when I was a technician, and there's a funny story behind that. That the kind of the acronym at the end of it was DMF, and my dad was making jokes about that. He's a ham as well. So when I went for my general, I was like, just give me another 2x3, please. I just want anything else. So they issued me another one that was an even worse acronym. And then the third one, AE0LZ, that was just randomly assigned. It's my grandfather's initials, and so I was like, "Oh man, I can't change it now." And I kind of like it because, if I'm doing sideband and I'm in a pileup, I'll say, landing zone. So that's kind of.
Well, I was going to ask about that because you were in the military, right?
Yep. I was in the Army. Yeah.
Did you jump out of airplanes or?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I was one of those guys for a while there.
So I kind of thought the LZ had maybe some tie back to your Army.
That would have been fun. Yeah, actually, it would have been even better if it was DZ, because for paratroopers is usually called a drop zone, and LZ is a landing zone, which is usually for like air assault helicopters, that sort of thing. So it would have been cool if it was DZ for drop zone. That would have been fun.
Be cool.
Oh yeah, the old drop zone. So yeah, no, there was nothing intentional there. It was purely serendipitous, and I had my eye on a bunch of vanity calls, but once I got that one and it was my grandfather's initials, I was like, I can't change this. This is too cool. So
QRP Live says first assigned call was KD9SKK, confusing CW ops worldwide. Yeah. Did it da da da. Did it da 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 da. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I saw a DAD in there. So my first call sign was KD9DAC, and I kind of probably would have kept it had mine been DAD. The funny thing is that a kid down in Bloomington in high school got KD9DAD, so I changed it. But I changed mine almost as quickly as I could, because as a 3-week-old ham radio guy or whatever it was, 3 months, I got my extra. I went ahead and I would get into arguments with people, not big arguments, but what do I know? I'm a technician. Well, no, dude, I've got an extra now, so there you go. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I just saw TJ make a comment. He said DAD as in dad, because TJ knows my dad. So,
okay. That's the one I popped up was I thought that was TJ.
Yeah. No,
I couldn't really tell. He's on a paired channel, not watching us on the Ham Radio Kids table.
That's why I don't see it.
Yeah. Speaking of which, the Ham Radio Kids table, we are just a few subscribers away from having 500 subscribers on the Kids table, which isn't bad. We're less than a year old, and we are just doing these Wednesday night live streams. But if you are watching us on any of the paired channels, and if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. Let's get us up over 500 tonight. I'd appreciate that.
Well, as far as I know, the only paired channel tonight is Vince's, and I just dropped the link over there.
Okay. Awesome.
You said Vince will be coming back later, do you think?
Yeah.
He said yes. Vince did have a commitment tonight with Long Island CW Club. So as soon as he's done, I think he's presenting tonight. And as soon as he's done with that,
he said he'll at this point he'll be back in 35 minutes. He's currently presenting to LICW.
I wonder what he's presenting. I kind of feel like I'm missing something now.
Dits and das.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if it's Wednesday night, is it Wednesday or Tuesday night to do the 3D printing club, which is pretty cool. I went and I presented there at one point, talking about some of the 3D printing stuff I do here in the machine shop, and that's a smart group of guys there in the 3D printing club at LACW. Like, very clever group of folks there.
I'm gonna have to check that out then.
Yeah,
I've got a couple printers behind me. Can't see them right now. The lights are down, but I've been wanting to do more stuff.
Have you gotten into resin printing yet?
I have not. No.
Man, that will change some of the game for you, especially since I do Cerakoting here. One of the problems you can run into with resin prints is that they're UV cured, and so if you can't use those parts outside because they'll continue to like slowly cure and turn into powder. But you can Cerakote them, block the UV light, and then you can use them for outdoor applications. It's still going to be a little more brittle than a lot of the engineering materials you can get in FDM. So, but yeah, you should really try it. I like the Saturn V, printer. I absolutely
I've heard
love
that name. Yeah.
Yeah, love. I think it's Elegoo is the brand.
Okay.
Not sponsored.
That's fine. Hashtag not sponsored.
Yet. Let's go, Tim.
That's right. Hey, Elegoo guys, come on.
Yeah.
Aaron's looking.
So
Professional machine shop.
Plazer says one of his new guys got randomly assigned LID and has hated it. Yeah, I would hate that too. Absolutely.
I would keep that. I would keep that so much. Oh man, that's so good.
That's a conversation starter at Hamfest. I would do that myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or someone had SH sad ham. They could always call like Kilo 3 sad ham. I know there's some people that like to use funny words for their phonetics. Sometimes it was funny.
We had a gentleman here after the FCC dropped the $30 whatever requirement was to change your call sign. He went out, made it his mission to find those kind of call signs, and he would literally change it, and whatever the minimum time was you had to wait, then he'd go change it again. And he had some good ones. He had some real good ones.
Well, there's people that were doing that just to get like the better call signs, the better 2x1s or the 1x2, which is I thought kind of unfair to others, but
I had to let the FCC know of a couple people who were dead just to free up some 9-call 1x2s and 2x1s.
What's the documentation required for that? Do you just notify them they have to go on it down, or did you?
You just basically if you send them an email, there's a thing, and then have some links to like an obituary or something like that they can tie it back to the person.
Cool. I need to start looking up people.
Oddly enough, a lot of obituaries, if they're a ham radio operator, will typically have some reference to their call sign or something in it. But we're not here to talk about old people and call signs. But so, Aaron, tell us a little bit about how you got the idea of making a key.
So how I got into the idea of making a key, I wanted to learn CW, and I started hoarding CW keys. So I was just buying every single one I could get. Actually, the first one I got was one of Larry N0SA's keys. And I'd seen it on a YouTube video, and I emailed him, and I found out he lives like 25 minutes away, and he was like, "Hey, drop by, bring cash," So followed all appropriate speed laws, and I drove straight down there, and I picked one up, and I loved it. But I invariably always find some level of dissatisfaction, like I could do this better, I can do this different, this is how I want to do it. And so I almost immediately started drawing up different types of keys, and started 3D printing some out just to look at shape and size. And the one thing I really wanted, and I'll show you, let me grab a key real quick. The one thing that I didn't find anyone else had was when I key, I key on my hand. I don't put it on a base, because even if I'm in the even if I'm at the house. So if I have a key, like I literally wanted to have that curve right there.
Mm-hmm.
And like that was just the simplest little thing that I wanted to add in. And so, I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago, I was like, oh, I got to have that. And I add little ridges, because that's how I like to hold it. And I literally measured out my thumb. I probably machined out probably 20 or 30 in different radiuses until I found one that fit my thumb right. So when I'm sending with it, so that was the first thing. I wanted to make it as enclosed as possible. So the first several that I had didn't have a window on them. That was actually a suggestion from a local ham here that was like, you have so many cool looking machined internals in there, it'd be neat if you had a window to look inside. So we ended up adding that. I will probably in the future be making a version that doesn't have a window, just because some people really like to abuse these, and I give them an option to do that. So because you can still break the plexiglass that's in there if you really try. I know this because several people have, and I end up sending them replacement parts.
So that is an issue. And
yeah, it can be an issue. Like if somebody like I've had people since it with this type of plastic, if you clean it with isopropyl alcohol and there's like a chip on the side, it'll fracture the whole thing. Like it'll just get little spider fractures in it because the plastic, the isopropyl alcohol, I'm not a chemist, but it'll actually like pull all the molecules in really tight, and then it causes stress fractures. So don't clean it with isopropyl alcohol. Just use a rag. So yeah, and the reason why I was able to do this is because I have access to a machine shop. This it's actually behind me. This is our dual spindle lathe behind us, the DMG Mori. You probably can't see it on the camera, but the two Haas machines are back there. Probably I would say in 2016, I think it was. My father owned a company called Broadcast Electronics up in Quincy, Illinois, and if you want to talk about radios, he's the guy to talk to, because they made some of the largest like broadcast transmitters you can find on the market. There's other competitors like Nautel that's out there, but if you turn on, at one point, this is a statistic that was given to me. At one point, if you turned on an FM radio anywhere in the world, there was a 30% chance it was made in Quincy, Illinois. And that's because there was three broadcast transmitter companies, all kind of doing the whole stealing engineers back and forth from each other sort of thing. Yeah. So they were all in this little town in Illinois.
Was Motorola one of those two, or?
I think Motorola was up there. I can't remember. I know Gates Air. I think they're still up there. Broadcast Electronics is still up there. But so I was a controls engineer in Detroit working in the automotive industry, and machining had been a hobby of mine at that point. When I was in engineering school down in Missouri S&T, I joined one of the design teams, Formula SAE. And anybody that's got a kid that's going into some sort of engineering field and they're going into school, badger them to get onto one of those design teams, because that's where they're going to get, literally where the rubber meets the road. Real application experience. Before they graduate, they will be designing different components for an entire race car, and then they take them up to Michigan every year, and they actually have students driving them and they race them. It's pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
And so we had our own machine shop at the school dedicated just for the race car team. And so I, as a new guy, basically they sat me in front of a lathe and said, here are the 20 ways that this machine can kill you. Don't do any of those. I actually started making aluminum. They were like aluminum bird inserts to go inside of carbon fiber wings, so we could actually bolt the side plates on. So I remember, I think it was like my third time at that shop, and they had me behind a lathe, like turning out parts. They also have classes on machining. So that's where I think the bug bit me on the machining side. And then while I was on some engineering co-ops or internships, I would go find a hacker space, or they call them maker spaces now. I grew up, they were always called them hacker spaces. That would have small machines. And so I'd go in and take classes, learn how to do that. And when I was up in Michigan, there was a company called Tech Shop, and they had a very large shop there. And they had a Tormach. I think it was like a 1100, like a kind of a personal CNC machine. So I started machining on one of those. And then when, got the call from my dad, hey, come back, work for me. So I went back to work for him. And very smart businessman. And one of the things that he identified was that we needed to start vertically integrating some of our production. And we had, those transmitters have so many different machined parts that he was like, hey, could we make these? And I was like, fake it till you make it. I was like, yeah, Dad, we can totally do this. Yeah. Yeah. You got 120 grand for a Haas VF3. Let's go. And so we got our first machine, and we put it in a facility down here in Lake St. Louis, Missouri. And I just started rocking and rolling and started making parts, learning how to program. I had some great mentors that had been in the industry for 20, 30 years. And so I'd call them and be like, hey, it's making these weird like lines on the parts. What's going on? So learning that way. So I've been machining for probably 18 years now, professionally probably since 2016. So yeah, just shy of 10 years. And we do all sorts of stuff now. So I don't make parts for the radio company up at Quincy anymore. And so my dad kind of wanted to get into a retirement mode. He sold that company off, and but we kept the machine shop, and we had expanded it out with 2 more machines, like the DMG behind me, because we had some jobs. We started doing contract manufacturing. So I basically, it's like every week it's a choose your own adventure. Some customers calling you being like, hey, I've got a doohickey. Can you make this for me? So I actually brought one thing with me. This is probably one of those like random things where to learn how to machine, I started just drawing up random objects and then finding some scrap material and cutting it. And like, I just had this on my desk. I just made this cool shape, and it's a flower pot. So
right. For a second there, I thought you were going to pull out the CNC version of a Benchy.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hollywood says he repaired several BEs in his day better than Harris, in his opinion.
Well, okay, he's a friend of mine.
He's a longtime broadcaster. Hannibal, Quirky James wants to know, what about cleaning it with whiskey? You said no isopropyl alcohol. What about whiskey?
Oh, man. If you clean it with whiskey and you break a part on it, I will send you spare parts for free. Yeah, but you have to video you cleaning it with whiskey, and it has to be a good whiskey.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. If you're going to pour one out, it's got to be something good.
Yeah.
Well, James is here in California, so you know we have our limited options. And then the other James, KI50,
none of that Napa Valley wine either.
Yeah,
too much sugar in it.
OEB James says Motorola was Chicago. Actually, it was Schaumburg. Let's get it right, James. If we're going to correct people, it was Schaumburg is where Motorola is located.
Still it's still Cook County.
Cook County, yeah.
Yeah, if you look at the map for Cook County, it is wild. It's like they just stretch their arms further and further and further out into the suburbs.
The county wanted the lakefront property.
Yeah, well, they wanted the airport too, so that's why they got that. So so I think that's I made all sorts of stuff for all sorts of people, and then I'd always gotten there's another YouTuber called John Grimsmo, and then John Saunders with which is NYCCNC on YouTube, and I'd always followed them on YouTube, and like they have their own product line. And that was one of my goals. Was I always wanted to have something that I made for myself, so I could control the design, I could control the prints, and so this ended up being that thing. And so I never thought I would make more than 10 of them. I made one for myself and a couple for some friends as prototypes. I got a bunch of feedback, and then word started to get out, and then people started emailing me saying, "Hey, can I get one? When are you going to have these ready?" So over the last, I think it's almost been 4 years now since the first prototypes, and I was a little gun shy, if I could say that. I was a little shy, thinking that this was a good enough product in its current, like the way it was before. And so I really buckled down. I fired a bunch of my customers, and I really started focusing on making sure all the parts fit right, and that I could make it reliably. And then went into production mode, and it's gone really, really well. So
awesome. If you had to ballpark, how many keys do you think you make in a week?
How many I make in a week? That's
I guess maybe a month might be a little.
Yeah. So in a month, usually I try and post like 10 or 15 every Friday. And sometimes some of them take a little bit longer than others, depending on like what Cerakote batch I'm doing, or if I might be waiting on some hardware, because it's all stainless steel hardware. And so sometimes I'm just like, I'm waiting on a new piece, or I've taken a couple of weeks off here and there where I'm not assembling product because I'm working on new fixturing. to try and make the machining a little bit easier, fix some quality control issues, things like that. So it's still a growing business. So it will fluctuate. So 1 month, I don't think I had anything. I didn't put anything out because I was focused too much on the shop. So trying to 5S some things and put things together that way. So
Right.
TJ says the prototype was 100% awesome. And Vaughn wants to know total key builds.
Total key builds. I would have to look that up. I know. I'll tell you this. It's over.
But tree fitty.
Yeah, it's over. It's let's just go with it's over 300, less than 1,000 right now. How about that?
So, tree fitty.
So, yeah, and they are now. I think I just opened up international sales. I finally figured out how to do the paperwork for that. That is not easy, trying to ship internationally.
No, it's not.
Especially right now.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I mean the difficulty like shipping into Europe has been that difficult always. It's been that way for a long time. I know this from my other career field I was in before. So it hasn't changed from our side how difficult it is to ship into Europe. So it's just a matter of sometimes things can get stuck in customs, and then I'm just sitting there waiting for it to actually show delivered so that I can close out that order. So I was a little shy trying to set up those orders, and I finally figured it out. I use Shopify in the background for the website for the e-commerce, which has its own learning curve to it. There's so many different little apps and gizmos you need to tack on there in order to make it run smoothly. But and then being able to set up the international shipping appropriately, so I'm not like shipping to a country I'm not supposed to be shipping to or something like that, right? I don't need to start an international incident with a little, a little, $200 set of paddles.
I was gonna say, is there? I mean, so in the IT, we'll see that restriction, export restriction, primarily with like cryptography and things like that. But is that with the machine parts? Is that
Sometimes, yeah. There's something called a harmony code, and depending on what you pick, changes its status. Obviously these aren't ITAR, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think that's the issue right there. But
is Iran going to be able to get one of their F-14s back up in the air with
I don't know. Yeah,
Here's wrong. Here I go. Here's the key to get that F-14 back up.
That's all you need, right?
That's all you need.
What's funny, Aaron, is right as you said ITAR, Jody popped in with hopefully not ITAR paddles.
Yeah, exactly, right. What's funny about that is actually the machine behind me, I'll point to it, the DMG Mori, that lathe actually is an ITAR restricted item. And so it's got like sensors in it. So if like we were to pick it up and move it, it would auto brick itself. And then we got to like fill out paperwork. I don't know if that has to go to the Department of State, but you fill all this paperwork, pay some technician to come out. He confirms the machine's still not in Iran, and then we'll like unbrick it for you. So we've had that. We've accidentally bricked it once and had to have somebody come out to unlock it at the most inopportune time. I was like in the middle of a production run, and like some battery in the back for a backup system, the AA batteries died, and then all of a sudden my machine doesn't work. So
oh man.
But not all CNC machines are that way. The Haas machines aren't that way. It's just the DMG Mori. Apparently, it can make parts for accelerating particles. Not that I know how to do that, but
not that we're going to talk about on the stream.
No, I don't. Actually, so yeah, that's all right. Next question.
So Chris Bricker in the chat, we had one when you brought up that one item earlier. He said those gears started moving. Aaron wants to make a Benchy now, I bet. And then he just said, really? You paid how much? And do you really own it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's okay. Yeah. That machine back there was probably, oh gosh, I think that's well north of 250. So, and I don't think you really own anything. You're just renting it from somebody at some point. So, but,
Jody here says a good CNC machine, you're only a creative binge away from a centrifuge.
Well, okay. Oh boy, now the Department of State's going to ring on my door tomorrow. So
good news is nobody watches our stream, so it really isn't that big of a deal. You'll be
Tim, the internet's forever. Somebody will find it.
Well, that's
Aaron, leave it to one of the Canadians in chat to have that said. I'm just going to leave it at that.
That's
Leave
fair.
it to
That's
the
fair.
Canadians.
No proliferation on my watch. I'll just put it that way. So,
there you go.
Yeah.
So
Jason wants to know how much for a keyer.
So for the CW keys, they're $250 right now. I will be coming out. It's actually something to bring up to chat. I always like as Kate MRD says, the world's worst thing a ham could do is ask other hams for advice.
Yeah.
But so right now I kind of just pick the colors that I like for Cerakoting, and I'll just do a batch of those. I usually do in batches of 20 or 30, and then I'll put those together. I sometimes have some spare parts from runs that I'll put some custom ones together that way. I'm trying to figure out a way. I get emails every day from somebody being like, man, if you made a red with, hot pink arms, like I would totally buy one. And I don't know how to set up a process to do that. Jeff, have you ever had any experience with that? You're on the spot.
I've sold some morale patches, but they were custom. I designed them, I made them, and just had them shipped out through like Shopify and all that stuff. But I would kind of think that you would have to at least have a batch of colors that you will willing to work with. Say like 10 colors, and you could put like on Shopify. So I'm sure there's somehow to specify like if you want like the paddles to be like X color, the arms to be X color, you have like 10 choices. And if you want the body, say, I know your keys have like the top part of the body and the lower part. And maybe say like where you get like the top part in like one color and the bottom in another, or just like make the body all one color and do something like that. It's been a few years since I played with Shopify, and but I'm sure that could be done. You just need to figure out like how many colors or options you want to give people, and how long it's going to take you to maybe do like a custom key, because you could get like, say like they want brown arms and like a dark green, like a forest green body. I mean, and say you have those colors, so that's only like one person for like a whole month orders that. Like you have to do that one key. So I kind of like the way that you do it. I know is like I made like 10 keys that are black and green. I made 10 keys that are like light blue and pink. I mean, I kind of like that. It gives, or the one you like. I mean, if you don't like it, then maybe receive emails from people. It's like, hey, can you do like the green, like the light green and like the pink together or something like that? I don't know. Yeah. But it's really like you have to figure out like how you're going to handle like some custom orders. So you may not get like a batch of them that are all the same color. You could get like 5 that have like the same color body, 3 of them have the same color arms, 2 of them have different colors, and there's a lot of combinations when you give those more options to people. So you might want to set on like a small group of colors, like 5 colors for the body, 5 colors for the arms, and your paddles. The paddles themselves are always I guess the material color, I think it is, if I've seen enough of them. So I mean, it depends on like how custom you want to go and how long will it take you to do like a one-off custom. And I'd say do a small amount of options for people.
Well, that's Jeff just brought up a good point. As far how long does it take you to, and can you individually shoot each
okay.
body? So I mean, is the economy of scale, and is it easier? I mean, do you need to do a minimum of 10, or can you do individually?
So for the Cerakote, it is the Cerakote's a 2-part like thin film epoxy. So it's a ceramic epoxy. And so once you mix the catalyst in, it's got a certain pot life, and then it goes bad. So, and you have to mix. Cerakote themselves tell you I have to mix, I think it's a minimum of like 20 or 40 grams, which will do like 20 keys, right? And so that's probably $10 worth of Cerakote. right? So it can get a little expensive there. I think what it comes down to is the labor time. So every single time I do a color, I probably spend 20 minutes cleaning out like the spray gun and getting everything, doing all the maintenance on that. So doing just one could get really costly really fast from a
Yeah.
labor standpoint.
That's why I say like have a small number of options for like you could either do it like I said for like just the arms and the body, or if you want to split the body into two. But then that's just I know I watched your video with Mike on how you do that, but I can't remember if you code the tops and the bottoms separately.
I try and do them at the same time, and that's because oftentimes the pigment will be slightly off.
Yeah.
Mainly on most of the colors that Cerakote that offers, it's not that way. Anything that has some sort of like, I don't know if you call it sparkle or sheen, but there's like an additive that like I ran into a problem with the Stormtrooper white keys that I did. It was like Stormtrooper white with red arms, and I did the chassis separate from the tops. And then when I went to put them all together, the tops were not the same sheen as the bottoms. And I measure everything out with a gram scale to make sure everything's correct, because you can change the gloss effect based off how much catalyst that you add. And so some people will try and measure just like looking at the meniscus on a graduated cylinder, but I measure it out by weight, not by volume, to be more accurate. And even then there'd be a slight variation. And I called Cerakote and I was like, hey, why would there be such a difference between these two? There was two things that they told me. One, surface tension, because there isn't as much surface area on the tops. Like as you're spraying it on, sometimes the little like fleck glittery stuff that's in there will kind of pool up differently than on a large flat surface, like on the back of the chassis themselves. And so they said that could be a problem. And the other one was that even after I mix it up the graduate cylinder, it goes through a filter and then it goes into the cup for the Iowata spray applicator, the spray gun. I can use the G word, right? Spray gun. I can say that on YouTube. Okay.
Yeah. Gun.
Yeah.
Gun. They told me like even while spraying, you need to be constantly agitating the spray gun so that it's still mixing, because like it'll actually separate. And so if I'm doing 20 keys, that'll take me 10 minutes, and in that 10 minutes the Cerakote's actually started to separate out. And so if I do just the chassis up front and then I do the tops, even then in the same batch, I can still have a variation in like perceived pigment on it. So I won't be doing Stormtrooper white anytime soon.
my curiosity, the question came from like was actually meant like, are they put together at the or when you Cerakote them, or they're separated?
Oh no, they are separate. Yeah, they're separate.
Okay.
Because
if I thought that, I just want to be sure.
Yeah, because I'm using it as a protective coating instead of anodizing, because aluminum does rust, or its more technical term is it does produce an oxide layer just in natural air. And that oxide layer produces aluminum oxide, which is incredibly electrically resistant, like diamond. So it won't. So if I don't coat it, and then I don't seal up any other sections, like I use stainless steel hardware, even though there's that metal mismatch, the stainless steel hardware I work with, it's been really reliable, not creating that. I'm missing the correct term. It's not dielectric. What am I thinking of? Somebody in chat will know.
Gobbledygook.
Galvanic corrosion.
Yeah, gobbledygook.
Okay.
Yeah, gobbledygook, galvanic corrosion. So stainless and aluminum do pretty well with each other when they're touching. You don't get that as much as you would with like copper. But I still want to make sure everything else is coated that way, because some of the current path is going through the top of it as well. So I actually have to leave some of the holes get blocked off so that there's actually an electric current connection there. So.
Yeah, you definitely probably want to do it like a small amount of options for people. And maybe because of that issue with the Cerakoting is like you just do like a body color instead of like a top part and a chassis part. That'd probably make it easier on you and hopefully save you money with the Cerakoting materials.
Yeah.
So Vaughn wants to know any KAMRD models available.
If I have one available, Tim's already claimed it. So
Lose, you lose, people.
So
and Vaughn, all I got to say is pay it, become a channel subscriber to K8MRD, and you'll know when they become available again because members get that notification first. Just saying.
Or
Yeah.
just keep reloading the Modern Morse website over and over and over.
Oh,
Yeah, just stay up
You-
24 and just refresh like every 30 seconds.
So Shopify has a companion app called Shop. And I did not realize that this was a feature, and I couldn't tell somebody how to do it, but a customer told me, because it was like I would post something, and within like 15 seconds, I could post it at midnight or whatever. This guy would immediately have one ordered, and I was like, "How are you doing this?" Because I have a customer that's bought like 5 or 6 set of paddles from me. He apparently they're like Pokemon. He wants to collect them all. So,
that's
love
a
you,
good
Mark.
problem to have.
Right?
And it's a great problem to have. But he so this one customer that I had, he had the app and he can set an in-stock alert for different Shopify websites.
Cool.
And so it just sends him a push notification and he's just like, buy now. So there's your hot tip. So,
there you go. And
All right,
then
folks, you heard it first. You won't get this on the Clubhouse. You will not get that on the Clubhouse.
Pepe says any color the customer wants as long as it's black. Comes quote from Henry Ford. Brian agrees with that. Jody asks, any possibility of UV make UV printer E1 working to solve this problem? And that's while you were talking about the color problems.
Okay, yeah, I'm actually familiar with that. I think that's still in a Kickstarter, the UV make UV printer. I actually looked at backing that Kickstarter. I really want to have a UV printer, but there's some commercial options, but they're like 30 grand. That was actually a side business I wanted to do where I just wanted to customize golf balls for people. And the best way to do it on a 3D printed surface is using a UV printer because it's actually like dropping little droplets of ink onto it. So you can have more of a 3D contoured surface that you're printing on. And then it cures it with UV light. I don't know if that would solve the problem for Cerakoting the entire key because I don't think the UFE that would be really cool if you could use a printer like that to print Cerakote on. All right, patent idea number 85. Give me a second. I'm writing that one down. We've already talked about it publicly, so too late. So
while we're at it, Nate says small batches of paddles and bodies are of varying colors to be able to mix and match parts.
Yeah, one of the things I thought it would be really cool is having a booth at Hamvention where I just have batches of parts and people can come by and like sit down and just be like, I want that, I want that, I want that, and they put their key together and we high five and they move on. I thought that'd be a lot of fun.
Didn't you do something similar to that at Hamvention this past year? I know you were making keys or assembling keys there.
Yeah, so
I brought one of the masses.
Yeah, so what happened there was I brought 20 thinking I would only sell 10. Yeah. And the gates opened on what was it, Friday morning, and I had people sprinting to my booth to buy a key, and I was sold out in about 10 minutes or less. Like the only reason I took 10 minutes is because it took us a while to figure out how to do the payment gateway to take their money. That's what actually took the longest time. So the shut up, take my money meme was strong at Hamvention. So they and then I was like, I don't have any more keys. And so that I think it was that night I brought enough parts to assemble like 50 or 60. And I like that night I'm sitting in the Airbnb literally just assembling keys. And then the next day I was assembling keys in the booth, like putting in all the magnets and stuff. I had recruited my friend Daniel to help me. Like he was pressing in all the acrylic plates into the tops. So I was not expecting that to actually need to be done, but I'll come more prepared next year. That was a lesson learned.
And then Nate over at Hambo Adventures, you can see Nate's ambulance actually, hence Hambo, over on Mike's channel. He says seasonal batches of keys like Starbucks cups for CW, but for people that are more fun to be around.
The pumpkin spice nameless paddles. I'm in.
There we go.
There
You know,
go.
funny,
Pumpkin
Aaron. I
spice.
was just thinking that exact. I was getting ready to say pumpkin spice too.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. I love that. We could make a candy corn themed key. Oh yeah, let's keep this going.
Well,
Yeah.
Tim,
You could
chat.
do the jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
Nate and chat got it first, so you snooze,
Well.
you lose, Tim. And
We'll boot Nate. Watch that. We'll boot Nate out of here.
Speaking of which, hi. No. Nate's good people. Nate's actually,
Oh, okay.
Nate's
All
a good
right.
friend of mine. Actually, he probably came in just to stare at my nose.
yeah, Nate's a cool guy. I've worked him and his kid on sideband one time. Mike is a short timer into MAK in out, but wanted to say hello. Jody, just thinking, what about Cerakoting only in a single color for mass production, but then using a UV printer for the customization?
Okay, maybe doing so. The UV printing, that would be an experiment that I'll do some research into, because Cerakote being a thin film ceramic coating, nothing likes to stick to it. Not a lot of stuff likes to stick to it. So I don't know if there'd be a UV ink that could go on there to customize it that wouldn't just immediately, like, basically just harden and wipe off.
TJ says you need the camo edition.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. Nate says, yeah, it's true. Well, he says it's true. So yeah, he came in just to see you tonight.
Cool. Yeah. Hi, Nate. How you doing?
And Jimmy over at PRK Radio says, keys done in your favorite sports team?
Yeah. The litigious side of my brain is going, no. But I mean, if it happened to look like the same color combo, that might be possible. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, but there's so many sports teams. We're running back into that same problem. So many SKU numbers there. So
You can have any sports team's color combination you want as long as it's black.
There's a candy company that I know of that does offshoots of Grand Theft Auto. You know, it looks similar on the packaging, but it's not Grand Theft Auto. That's how they get around that. James KI50EB wants to know, have you used Duracoat?
Not for the keys. I've not used Duracoat. I'm familiar with Duracoat. It gets used a lot in firearms. That is more of a paint process. I don't know if it's a two-part epoxy. I'll look into that. I'm writing down notes as we speak. If you see me looking down, I have a whole sheet of scratch notes. So
what will be interesting? Let's take some bets in the chat. Well, not bets. Let's just make some predictions tonight of the stuff that we have talked about in here. What do you think, chat, will be the first thing that Aaron implements out of this conversation tonight? That'd be interesting to see, to be able to say, like Mike had his own special, let's flip some burgers at the boogers at the paint boogers at the thing. What's going to be the Ham Radio Kids Table Edition thing there? That'd be interesting.
While we wait for that to come in, one already has. Bill Walker says, colors are okay. Actual logos will get a cease and desist letter. Chris Bricker, this comes from Atlas, because I don't think Chris come up with it. A Benchy, yeah. Let's see here. Abe says pumpkin spice latte, not space.
So when people are saying a Benchy, now people have referenced the Benchy like at least 6 times now in chat. Are they saying they want a Benchy, or I don't understand that. I don't get the reference.
The Benchy is like the default printable object for like Bamboo Lab printers.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with that.
It's a little boat.
I threw that out originally. Was that you'd be making a Benchy on your CNC machine?
Oh yeah.
Because that's the one that everybody uses to test their 3D printers and to make sure they're set up right, and all the various things.
Okay.
That's what I was talking when you were talking about your pot holder that you made.
I think where I got
shapes.
I'm thinking of bencher. That's what it is. The bencher key. That was a brand of key for a long time.
So Vince, whatever you're digging for, we can hear it.
Yeah, well. Yeah, you're on your room mic there, Vince.
let's hear it. Vaughn says POTA edition. I think they want a POTA edition key for POTA power.
Well, they're all POTA sized already, pre-built. The way
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually, there's a good plug for you. So I made a bunch for this one actually is going to get shipped out soon. But if the camera, I engraved the Ham Radio Adventures logo.
Oh, nice.
For HRA, so it's a plug for that club. The guys out at Pack Beach, they did like a group buy, where they're like, we want to have our logo, we want to have it in this particular tequila sunrise orange, and so I said, hey, you order 20 of them, and you get a list together, and I'll make you 20 of them. So they put a list together, they got it, so we made that for them. So
the guys over at We4DX Ham Radio Adventures, a lot of fun guys there.
Fantastic.
Pepe says his guess, Aaron will produce parts in 5 colors and customers can choose their individual combination.
Yeah, that's one way to do the option thing. Yeah, I like that.
That, or I was thinking if it was, maybe it's one cycle it's this color, the next cycle it's this color. Make enough of them out that you can get your economy of scale with your materials and everything and your time, and then just sell those till they sell out, and then switch over to the next batch. And you might already do something like that now.
Yeah, I kind of do that right now.
Yeah.
I usually, I usually do them in batches of 20 right now, and then I'll list those on the website. So, and I normally try and keep it, like if I make 20, I'll only list like 18, because invariably, like we were talking before in the pre-show, that there might be a hole stripped, or there might be a quality control issue with the Cerakote, and then I've got to throw those parts out. And so I don't want to, promise 20 of them, and then I've got to do a whole nother batch just to, ship the last 2. That has happened. That has happened, and that's a stressful moment when a customer is still waiting on their product. So
TJ says, how about a gold member edition where the body is brass?
Oh man, I thought about that. Yeah. Brass. The good news is that changing materials in the CNC machine will have to change the tools, the machining strategy, feed speeds, everything like that. However, brass is similar enough to 6061 aluminium for Frank.
Thank you.
That
and Vince.
We do have some Canadian and Australian and motherland visitors here.
Aluminium is the way it is pronounced.
Yes, exactly.
They speak funny in Canada, Frank. That's okay.
Canada, Oz, New Zealand, UK, it's all aluminium. 4-5, no, that's getting hidden. I'm sorry, no 4-5. Yeah, I know you're joking, but no.
So yeah, that's doing a brass one would be fun. I do have, and you guys will be the first to know it, I have already been playing around with a titanium version. However, I'll tell you right now, the material cost to make a titanium one, the material cost is close to about $250 just for the material. So
wow.
That would be like a $500-$600 key. So that would be expensive. But
that would be a key that would last a lifetime. They could pass that down.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole idea with the aluminum keys too. Is like these should, as long as you can abuse anything. But these should have a really long service life. I've had one customer, an early adopter, Aaron Bowman, and he emailed me and was like, "Hey, I have 10,000 QSOs on your paddles, and one of the bearings is starting to stick." And so I sent him a kit with a whole new set of bearings. So he was able to replace those, which is part of the whole design here. Is I wanted everything to be, workbench swappable. Maybe not in the field, but you could at least do it on your kitchen room table to fix things. So.
A $500 titanium key would be kind of nice for like those customers that are like collectors of your keys.
Mm-hmm.
I know a guy that runs his own business, and he sells his stuff that's normally out of the price range of, I guess, common folks there. But it's like you buy once, cry once kind of mentality. You good quality stuff. I mean, and people, if you sell something for a certain price, people will buy it for that price. If you sell your keys for like $500, there will be people out there that will buy your key for $500. They're not afraid to pay that price. If you were to make some kind of like you made like the zombie key, the QR zombie keys, they're 300 compared to the other keys. I mean, I'm like, I'd pay for it. I don't mind. But if you had something that was more expensive than that, if it was a limited time run, like titanium, like you did, like say like 5 keys, I don't know, and you say, well, they're going to sell for $500 because one, the it's a special material that costs more, and you could make some sales from that probably.
So talking about the titanium here, Brian has a good point. Would you be able to get thin enough titanium stock to make it a weight savings? Otherwise, titanium is heavier than aluminum.
That's a really good point. Yeah, when I went and did the math, if I made it out of titanium and it was the exact same model or the exact same body, it would be heavier. The savings you end up with titanium, the reason why it gets used in aerospace and racing applications is because you can make the part thinner and change the features and still have the same structural the same strength that you would from an aluminum or a lesser material. And so that's how you get the weight savings there. So that's where I was looking at designing a slightly different version that would be essentially like razor thin. So it would be super lightweight. I want to make a key that would make Adam K6ARK jealous. So like maybe not jealous, he would really want to have that in his bag because he chases ounces, and so I like that. And from my old race car motorsports days, you win races chasing ounces sometimes. So
Yeah, I just went through that ounce chasing exercise. I still want to do the 1 pound challenge. And so, for those of us in Canada, that means the 454 gram challenge. And so I want to do it in all modes, however. I don't want to just be doing it in CW. So it's made for some very interesting decisions. But recently I went through my QRP kit, and my QRP kit is all purpose. And so it weighed 6.5 kilograms. And just before my recent trip to Ontario, I trimmed that kit down to 3 kilograms. And it was a single key, and it was the very lightweight plastic Palm Pico key, about as big around as my pinky finger. And then after I got there, I realized, oh yeah, I've got one of my VK3IL paddle keys, and it only weighs 32 grams, and it was in my backpack. So now that sticks with me as well. Lightweight is a thing that some of us rightfully or wrongfully chase. I'm still thinking, do I exchange my KX3 for a KX2? Like sell my KX3, I mean.
Frank, I've got
it. KX2,
okay.
But
I'll take it.
Because that's a good one.
Yep. So real quick here, ham radio rookie. And I don't know, Aaron, if you know Ben. Ben's the guy that makes the Faraday antennas, the Faraday cloth antennas. And he's also a maker, does special effects and stuff like that in the TV movie industry. But titanium can be 3D printed, and he's done it. If he can help, I can help. If it's an option, he's gone as thin as 0.2 mil.
Yeah, if we went the 3D printing route, which is usually it's a powder-based titanium deposition process, or SLS is what they usually call it. I was actually talking to DMG Mori. They make those printers, and I was like, yeah, let's go. Like, let me get a quote. And they wanted installed. They wanted $650,000 for a printer that had a build plate of like 18 by 18 by 12. And
can't do it on your Elegoo.
Nope, can't do it on the Elegoo. There is, but the reason why 3D printing in titanium would be cool is because you could keep the same. I could keep the same shape, right? The same CAD model essentially, and all we would do is just change the infill on the inside and use some sort of like matrix infill inside there, so that way the internals of it would be hollow. That would be. Yeah, that'd be super cool. All right, ham radio rookie. Like, so
okay. Ben says
we'll be
you
talking.
don't need to buy the printer. I'll be happy to connect you two guys.
And
Hey,
if Vince doesn't, I can too. 4-5 says if the key is visible with the naked eye, it's too large for Adam.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah. I mean, Adam's also into like building the key into the radio, so that's
yes,
yeah.
that is one of my next projects.
So-
I have a QMX coming my way, and I will build a key into it.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is a QMX and a titanium case with integrated capacitive touch paddles.
Oh, that might not be bad at all.
Oh man. Okay, so I'll tell you right now, Vince. I can. What was it? The mountain topper, the 4-bander. I had a mountain topper 4-bander, and I took that apart and I measured out because it's a folded sheet metal with insert case, and I measured the whole thing out, and I won't show it on stream, but I machined out an entire billet aluminum case for it that I Cerakoted, and then I sold it off to a friend that really wanted it. So I would totally be down. I have a QMX. I have several QMX kits. I could totally take some measurements, and that'd be super cool.
Yeah, that'd be neat. Just use a couple of cap nuts on it and some washers to isolate them electrically. So that makes it simple. Over on my channel, K9KJ, TJ, otherwise known as Big Time DXer, or CW fans, you can see his stickers.
That sounds like a made up name. That sounds like a made up name.
His
Big Time
stickers have been
DXer.
kind of covered up on my laptop now, but he says, how about a gold member edition where the body is brass? People would buy it.
Yeah, I mean that would get away from the that would almost be a desktop key at that point, weight wise. Brass is super
totally.
Heavy, but I will. That's on my list of things to do. So if heaven forbid,
like
if sales slow down, I might be able
Playboy
to make that
Club.
a side adventure. Yeah.
Like the Playboy Club.
Yeah, there you go.
Get your special titanium brass key.
So did the story of how we met Aaron come out yet?
No, it hasn't.
So
we've been talking manufacturing and stuff.
One of Aaron's buddies comes over and finds me at the Ham Radio Workbench booth at Hamvention just this year, and says, "Hey, I got to introduce you to this guy. He makes some really nice keys. And your buddy, and I can't remember his name right now. He stands about 6'14". He's a big guy, so I'm not about to say no." And so he drags me from building 3 all the way over to building 1 where you were set up. And I saw your keys and I took one look at them, and you and I talked for about 3 minutes. And I said, "Hang on, I'll be right back." I booked it back over to building 3. I grabbed Thomas and I said, "You're coming with me, bring your wallet," Thomas Witherspoon. And I grabbed my wallet, and we both, and Paul Braun came along too, the voice of some of the funny introductions on Ham Radio Workbench and Amateur Radio Newsline. And I think Paul bought a key as well, but anyway, I'm still very, very happy with mine. It accompanies me on most POTA expeditions. So, but that's the story. Anyway, I took one look at these things. I went, "Holy wow, this is well made." I'm not a big fan of the Bama key. And I'm not throwing shade at it. It's just not my style. But this one was absolutely right up my alley. It's easy to hold, and it's got some great ergonomics to it. So
Vince, Jody says walking around without your wallet at Hamvention, rookie move.
No,
Chris,
that is the advanced move. That is the equivalent of keeping your credit card frozen in a glass of ice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then,
well,
Aaron, Chris has a good question for you. Just to be able to machine whatever I can think of. Dang, I'm jealous. What is your favorite thing you have ever made?
Oh man. Yeah, favorite thing I can make, and obviously let's take the CW key out of it. I will tell you the favorite thing that I ever made. I can't tell you because I'm under NDA, but let's go with the most favorite thing that I can share. One of the things I actually have up front in my display case is because I made an extra one for myself. There was a race team, Stefan Papadakis. He's kind of like the mad scientist of the Formula One cars, and he rang me up and said, "Hey, we have a problem with one of our." So he sent me a basic, sketch design and said, "Hey, can you make these?" And I think he called me on a Monday and said, "Hey, we're going to the track on Thursday. Can you overnight it to us?" And so we literally, from the ground up, machined out a brand new power steering pump pulley. And I went through and I actually changed the design for the spokes because he had done a very basic design on the inside, and I changed the spokes to actually match the wheel pattern for the race car that they used. I think it was Ryan Turk's car. I changed the spoke pattern for that. So that was pretty cool. The reason why that was so neat is because then I ship it to them, and then I actually got to, like, later on in one of his videos, and these get, millions of views. I saw one of my parts in his YouTube video on the
Nice.
car. So that was kind of like, yeah, I made it. Let's go. So
Well, Vince, you had mentioned the Obama key, and I think one thing that we can all take away from a lot of these, whether it's Aaron's keys or any of the others, I see a lot of these as pieces of art.
Yes.
Right? So I think that a lot of people will buy them just to appreciate the artistic value behind them, whether it's something that's a little bit more rugged. And Vince, you weren't on when he was talking about that, but just kind of the design and everything he went through, and how he really shaped the key for his hand, for Aaron's hand. So
totally.
It may not necessarily fit mine or yours, but nonetheless, I enjoy it and I appreciate the work that went behind it. And everything. So I think that that is one thing that you get when this isn't a mass produced key. There is a lot of personal touch and everything that goes behind every one of these keys, and before you get it. So it's not it's not like, and I'm not throwing any shade on it, but the Pooty key, right? I mean, that's a mass marketed key that you see on Amazon, where there's, I don't know how many of them they've sold, and they're great for what they are, but they're a $30 key or a $40 key, and you're not going to get a lifetime of enjoyment out of it.
Tim,
exactly. Go ahead,
Jeff.
Okay, thanks. That's why I was kind of coming back when I mentioned earlier, like if you made like a $500, $600 key, you're going to have customers that are going to buy it because they're a fan of your work, they like your keys, and they do see it as a piece of art. Besides being made in America, people like that, they will pay money for those options. There are collectors out there for everything, and there are people that collect the Morse code keys. They have all different kinds, but there's some that are brand specific. They'll buy all of modern Morse keys. They might buy all the Bamatech keys, all the different variations. Like with Olight pushes out so many different color variations of their flashlights that people have loads. They just buy, all their money goes into Olight flashlights and Olight knives and stuff like that. And they get like every light in a particular color pattern. And there are collectors out there for everything. So yes, it's a piece of art. People love getting those kind of collections.
Yeah.
And if it's like a different colored key from one manufacturer, they get all the colors they can. So yes, it's a great piece of art.
Yeah, a piece of art is right. I have a non-CW friend. I know you might find that hard to believe, and he has a shirt with his call sign on it, and then he's got Morse code below it, and he wore it over to my house once, and I said, "Dude, I don't know who designed your shirt, but the Morse code doesn't align to the letters. Like it looks like an Asian tattoo. I'm not making fun of Asians, but
I wasn't gonna go there.
I'm not making fun of that. I just want to be really clear, but sometimes the meaning doesn't match the letters. And that's really what I meant to say to him. And he says, "Oh, I knew you'd point that out." But he said that he bought a sculpture and a traveler light from Pietro Begali because he says Pietro won't be around forever. And I wanted these built by Pietro because I really like them. And he keeps them under glass at home in a cabinet. Now, he brought them out once to a winter field day, and I got to play with them, and I was absolutely blown away with how beautiful they were. And that led to my first expensive key purchase. I've since have a few other expensive keys. or really, really well made keys. And that whole design attracted me when I saw yours, Aaron. So that's why I didn't hesitate to buy it. I did not go to Hamvention. Jody, I know you'll find this hard to believe. I did not go to Hamvention to spend a bunch of money. As a matter of fact, I tried to spend as little as I could just as a personal challenge because I'm somewhat unrestricted at times. But that was an easy, quick decision. Even though I saw the N3ZNs down the hall, and and I saw some other keys around the floor, of course, right?
See, Jody went for the exact opposite reason. He went to spend all his money. I'm joking. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Okay,
Yeah.
Aaron. Chris says he wanted a Bama key, but sadly no more, as we know. So I'm looking for a modern Morse key. Well, Chris, I dropped the link for it several times. So is Jeff. Jody says, I'm not above buying a well-crafted key to further my CW LARPer habit.
Yeah.
And then Chris comes back again. I want to paint one for myself. How much for an unpainted one? I got some artsy ideas.
Ooh, I've had somebody ask me for one of those before. I would say the bad news on that is it will probably never happen. There's too much quality control that I do after they've been Cerakoted, just to check tolerances on parts. That if people have asked for kits before, an unfinished kit that they could put together and paint themselves. I've gotten that question before. The issue, I don't want to sell somebody a kit and then basically it's a choose your own adventure that leads to failure. And then I'm stuck, doing service and support on something that I could have fixed in the shop myself. So probably not. Maybe in the future with a different design, we might do that. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Well, and Nate says, Nate says, I don't know a lick of CW and would buy one. They're so nice.
I did.
I don't know like a CW, and
I plan on learning it. I plan on learning it. Buying something like this. I mean, you could buy like the $30, $35, $40 keys from off of Amazon and eBay and all the other sites. But you say you'll eventually do it. But if you spend your money on something a little bit more pricier, then you're making the commitment to actually get it done. Like someone might go out, like they might just want to get a ham radio license, but before they do that, they might actually go out and buy an HF radio to give them some incentive to learn it or get licensed or whatever.
So Ben here, he seconds Chris's remark. Pish, I don't need a kit. I'll just disassemble, reassemble, and void all the warranties.
No, yeah, no. You could. They're meant to come apart. You're supposed to be able to take them completely apart. I know Vince had to. We actually ran into a problem with some of the arms where, and I have no fear speaking about this, but we had a part of our manufacturing process is that after we Cerakoted the arms, there would be Cerakote that would get into the. I don't have a blank arm near me, but there's a 3mm pin that goes all the way through that seats in the bearings on the top and the bottom. And some of the arms, when they get Cerakote in them, we would actually hand ream those out with a 3mm reamer. Well, that wasn't a very, of all the precision that we do stacking up through everything. And then at the very end, at the finish line, we were messing up the reaming. And so some of those, I think, ended up a little goofy. So that was the thing that happened on some of them. So if anyone has one of those, let me know, and I will totally send you new parts.
And
gladly.
Jody says, Aaron's first thing to implement after explaining, quote, no kits, anti-tamper seals.
Yeah, no, I want you to take them apart. Take it apart. It's like a Lego kit.
Yeah, it is.
So that was part of it. I mean, I don't know how that would change, but part of the dream that I had of having a product, kind of like having like a pocket knife. I'm a big knife fan. Is that sometimes you sell a main product in your business, and then you have all these accessories you can add on to it to customize it to make it your own after purchase. So somebody could buy, an all black one, and maybe that's what we do is you have an all black one, and then we have like upgrade kits for different types of arms. So
there you go.
Yeah.
So real quick, and you kind of opened up the door on this one, so I'm just going to ask the question. Any thoughts on the next generation, a second type of key, maybe another style besides an iambic key, a straight key, or?
So I have designs for that I've been working on for a straight key. That one's probably 6 months out before I would show it to the world. I now have a whole bunch of really smart engineering minded CW operators in my back pocket that I can send prototypes to now to
Nice.
Vince, that I can send prototypes to check out. Everyone's been asking me to make a desktop key, and let's see if I can. I'm trying to think if I should talk about this.
Well, and I just, while you're thinking about that, I just came off of a presentation at Long Island CW Club, and they were excited that I was going to be talking to you because they want to know when the single lever paddle will come out.
Yeah, so I plan on. So I have a design for I don't have a final name yet, but it's probably going to be called the Absurd Paddle, because I'm going to be making a back to my motorsports days. I have a mechanism to make a 4-link like quad bearing straight or not straight key, but a single lever paddle. What's interesting about single lever paddles, if that's a tongue twister,
That's easy for you to say.
Yeah, I know, right? Single level paddles. They actually, in order to do them right, they actually require more mechanisms involved, more complications to them than just a standard iambic like dual lever paddle, because you need to be able to have it to where it comes back to center, and then as it rotates over, makes contact, and then recenters, and so you can have individual adjustability depending if you're hitting the dits or the DAWs, and then having a slight change in the throw between the two. You could do it really simply, but if you're going to do it right, there's actually who is it? I think it's CW Morse. They make one, and if you pull that one apart and you look inside, I think it's got 4 bars inside of it. So it's got like two standard bars and then the 2 arm bars. And when they're moving, they're actually basically pushing up against the second bars, and those are actually what are making contact. So it's a little more complicated. I don't know if I could fit it into the same footprint. I probably could, but I'd have to. We'd have to change like the printed circuit board that's inside there. I'd have to go to a different type of printed circuit board, maybe make it a little thicker so I can flip the switch onto like the backside. There's some options. Yeah, you got my head turning. So I've been toying around with designs for that in CAD for years now, since people have been asking me. So
So we have some more fun stuff here for you, Aaron. Mike and Becky over at Ham Radio Duo say would love to test run your straight key, and I bet you that's Becky behind the channel name tonight. So
No doubt.
Yeah, well, once we get a straight key together, absolutely. I don't want to make a straight key just to make a straight key. Like, I have to have a mission behind it. Like, there has to be some key design philosophy that I'm following in order for my imagination to for me to trip that trigger, as they would say. So
Hollywood's got a great idea. Place a random Easter egg etch inside. Collect them all.
Oh, I will tell you that has already happened.
There you go. TJ says you will sell a lot of desktop paddles. Iambic is the bomb. And then on for some reason on the back channels, we got the back channel chat going on tonight. Jody wants to know, can Aaron do a custom Navy key like the Littoral class Navy key light? Jody, I'm not going to be able to bring that up on stream. No, wait, hold on. I can. Give me a second.
Wait, they want me to make a Littoral class key? Does that mean I just make 2 and then we take it out of commission?
No.
There you go. People may not get that joke.
Here.
No.
Tim and Big and me so that Aaron and everyone else can see this better.
That's almost too kitsch for me.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. From what I could see.
Hold on.
Come on, Tim.
No. Oh, there. I hit the wrong button. Darn it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
He'll come back.
Gosh, darn it. Man.
There we go. He'll be back.
Yeah.
That was not intentional.
No.
Real funny, Tim.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go. Sorry, you got hit behind the thing. I hit the wrong button. And
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, that was from Jody there. Let's see here. He says, "Damn, this will be another Pokemon thing I'll have to talk to the boss about." Oh, QRP Life says apparently you hit the right button, and then Handman Connecticut says, "Poor Frank."
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yep. I hit the wrong button. At least I didn't shut the stream down.
Yeah, you didn't pull a Molson, so we're good.
So, Aaron, you said something pretty interesting a minute ago. You have to have a mission to design and build. And you got a bunch of ideas being thrown your way. A desktop key, a straight key, a cootie, or a single lever. What sort of, when you think of mission, I equate that to creative juice. What sort of creative juices, what sort of things do you use to stimulate that process for yourself in your brain?
Everything. Oh man, let me think about this for a second. I would say everything that I've ever put any sort of brain power into, it's because I want one for myself that does something specific that I need to solve the problem with.
That's usually like the key element to making something, is that you want something for yourself and you think it can be done better than other people have done it.
Some of the most clever things that I've ever made for myself has always just come out of necessity, right? I've said, "Ooh, this is something I want to do." I don't stand out and just say, "I want to make a product and let me figure out what will sell." It's usually I will make all sorts of stuff that solve a problem for me, and then somebody will see it and go, "I want one of those too. I have that same problem."
Yeah, sure.
Exactly.
And when it comes to for instance, the single lever, right? There's already a lot of really good single levers out there. There's a lot of great standard portable iambic keys. I've solved the problem that I wanted for having a portable like POTA key that I could have. I solved that with the iambic key. There are a lot of single lever fans out there or operators that's how they like to operate. So I would have to basically sit down and decide that I want to become a single lever guy, and then get unhappy with something with single lever keys and say, oh, I know what I want to do now. So
I
we're
mean, this enclosure style would fit a single lever super easily, but the circuit board needs to change, the contact points. There's a bunch that needs to change, but the case to keep it in the family.
Yeah.
Looking the same,
Hey, I'm in Missouri. We like to keep it in the family here. So.
Okay, moving on.
We weren't going to bring that up tonight, but
so Aaron, going back to custom keys, leave it to the Canadians to come up with the great ideas. Ben says, "Oh wait, how about an Enterprise Constitution class ship Star Trek key?"
Which episode of Star Wars was the Enterprise in?
Exactly.
Was that New Hope?
No Hope.
No Hope. Oh boy.
I think
that's the name of the next key. I'm writing it down right now. We're gonna call it the No Hope.
There you go.
Oh man.
I thought it was Return of the Force Awakens.
Oh man, there we go. The No Hope. I love it. Oh man, that's great. Good job, Jeff.
You're welcome.
You just earned something.
Thank you.
I don't know what it is yet. My undying admiration.
Hey, as long as you give me a little credit, I'm happy.
Yeah, there you go.
Little credit.
So yeah, I think on the single lever there, I can fit it inside that enclosure. Yes, some changes would have to be made. The top design would have to change a little. Like I said, I have a design for a titanium key that is made out of titanium flat stock, and that's so I can have economy on because billet titanium gets really expensive really fast. And I was looking at actually round stock is actually what is the most cost efficient. So I could use the lathe back here that actually has multi-axis machining on it as well. because it's a turret lathe with live tooling. I wish I could pick the camera up and show it to you, but just go look up DMG Mori 1500 SY and you'll see plenty of videos of people crashing them. And but yeah, I could. There's one that I was going to do that it's called a multi-link design. It actually comes out of suspension geometry from off-road vehicles. That actually there's multiple bearing points. So what I want to do is have it to where if I make a single lever, I want to make one where instead of the paddle rotating about some axis point beyond it, I want to have it to where with a multi-link system, it actually just completely moves in an isolated manner across one axis. That's my mission, Vince, to answer your question. Like, that's the challenge I want to do. Don't know if that'll make it a portable one. Don't know if I can pack that in there, but there will be a desktop single lever that does that at some time in the future.
Nice. Right on.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
One of the things, if you don't mind, when we were talking on Saturday, you had mentioned that you have quite a bit of setup time and stuff like that to do these. Can you talk a little bit about what goes into building one of these keys?
Yeah. So are you talking to like the design process and getting the machine set up to machine new parts, or like what I'm doing?
Yeah, getting the machine set up to what goes into that to make it happen. And you did mention quite a bit. There's a fair amount of maintenance that's involved that has to be done on a regular basis to ensure that your machine is operating efficiently and smoothly and continuously.
Yeah, I have. It comes out to on average, it comes out to a couple hours a day, maybe a little bit less because some days I don't have to do anything other than warm the machines up. I'm staring back at the machines right now, trying to refresh my head into all the tasks that I have. But there's yeah. So in the machining process, the tools are considered consumable, even though they're tungsten carbide tools. Some will last you thousands of hours in the machine. Some will only last you 20 hours, right? Depending on the size of the tool, how hard you're pushing the tool, what you're doing. And so I'm constantly having to change out tools in the machine when I'm in a full production mode, especially like there's this 1/8-inch 3-flute end mill that I go through probably 2 or 3 a week when I'm in full production mode because it gets used. It's like my little whipping boy because I can sit there and pick out little areas of detailed features. I'm trying to think if do I have one near me? No, I don't. Sorry. I do a lot of window machining, and that's where like I'll take a flat plate and then I'll have like 8 parts that are on the plate, and then I'm essentially cutting them out and leaving little tabs left. That allows me so where I'm not having to hold like one piece and just machine out one piece at a time. And that because of the contour profile cutting that we're doing spiraling down, that will end up causing more wear on the tool because you have more engagement. Let's see if I can tool engagement, which is basically how much of the tool is actually in contact buried in the metal when it's cutting. And so doing those spiral cuts end up with about 180 degrees, which is about, it's the maximum you can have. And so I'm constantly having to change those tools out, retouch them off using the built-in probes. And then I got to sit there and babysit the machine when that tool's running for the first time, just to make sure I reset the machine up correctly and everything's good. Designing new parts can take me, depending on what it is, like part of the reason why I added the ridges, this is kind of DFM or designed for manufacturing on this key. I added these ridges not only just for feel, but also for manufacturing purposes, because I can actually, when I'm gripping on the part inside the machine, like using a pair of soft jaws that are holding onto it, those ridges actually give it to where it has lateral stability left and right, so that the part doesn't slip out, and it actually indicates into the vise the same way every single time, plus or minus 2 or 3 thousandths. So that's something that you have to think about when you're designing a part. When I used to do job shop, like contract manufacturing work, I would get designs from junior engineers that they, just because you can 3D model it doesn't mean you can make it.
True.
And that was actually my specialty for a long time. I still do that, which is where I'll consult with companies where they'll have somebody make a part and they're like, why is this little part costing us $400 a pop to make? And it's like, well, because your engineer discovered the fillet tool and they made it to where there's all these weird 3D contours, and those are all having to be those very difficult to machine. It takes longer. So if we cut those out and we do this and we add this feature in here and make it easier for fixturing, then we can cut the machine time down, and then it becomes a $20 part. So,
yeah. So if anybody's interested, you can go to Instagram and search for the channel. Aaron Makes Keys, AARON Makes Keys. And you can see a lot of the videos that he's got up there on the manufacturing process of these keys, which is really fun to watch.
Yeah, I tried to do I started that Instagram channel just trying to share the process that I had. I see some of those videos are probably 3 years old at this point. Like I would sit there in the shop and I was using Instagram as for the engineers out there. Have you heard the term rubber duck? Right. So I would sit there. A rubber duck scenarios where I work alone, but when you work with people, sometimes somebody will come up, they'll explain a problem to you. They'll say, oh, this could be it, that could be it, I don't know what it is, and before you can even say anything, the person has come up with their own conclusion and they've walked away, and you were like, okay, glad I could help, I'll send you a bill.
They're talking to you as if you're a rubber duck.
They're talking to you as like they might as well have been talking to a rubber duck.
Yeah.
And so I was using Instagram to force me to actually like talk through problems to myself, so that hopefully I wouldn't respond to myself, because that's a whole nother problem. And I was, putting those videos out there saying, I'm doing this and I'm doing this and that this is why I'm doing this. And it helped out a lot. So
it's only a problem if you're giving yourself the wrong answers. If you're giving yourself the right answers, I mean, you can tolerate a lot.
Oh,
well,
yeah,
Tim, I always
absolutely.
give myself the right answers when I talk to myself. That's just Mark wants to know. Let's talk linkages, and he also asked, dual Chebyshev mechanisms. I know I'm butchering that. I'm pulling an Izzo.
Just
I
a
don't
little
give a
bit.
crap.
Just a little bit. And that's a throwback or a bastardization of a Chebyshev filters, which is a popular filter technology. Chebyshev. I can't find it either. Anyway, we're butchering it, but it was funny at the time.
But Mark wants to let's talk linkages. He's big into well, Mark's a great guy. He's very smart. He's very knowledgeable. And if you have a problem, check out the hook, because DJ Mark will resolve it.
Well, Mark, send me an email. Let's chat. I like to talk about linkages. So very cool.
There you go.
Very cool.
And Mark, that Instagram link that both Jeff and I found and dropped at the same time there.
No, I dropped it first.
Yeah, okay, by like the 5 seconds, whatever.
This is the kids' table. I expect this behavior.
Guys, put it back.
I was just giving him a hard time.
Put it back where it came from.
It has his email, or Mark. Yeah, I can hook you up on Discord as well. Because Aaron, you do chat on Discord, right? I've only ever seen you in the after chat. So,
yeah, I'm occasionally hover around Discord. I usually detox myself every once in a while, and will completely uninstall it from every single device that I have. If I reach a certain usage, my iPhone will actually tell me how much screen time I have with a particular application.
Mm-hmm.
And if I hit a threshold in any given 2-week cycle, it gets uninstalled.
Well, Mark said he found it, so you'll be expecting an email from Mark, I'm sure, by the end of the show, knowing him.
I've made a note in case he doesn't get a hold of me. I'll find him.
Well, if he doesn't get a hold of you, send me a Discord message. You know my handle over on Discord, and I can link you two up.
Perfect.
Frank,
What?
They're adults. They can handle it. They don't need the mother henning. Frank, calm down.
Frank, you don't need to pimp a connection, okay?
That's right.
But pimping connections are so much fun.
Hey, pimping ain't easy,
right?
If it was, everybody be doing it.
There you go.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, CW keys isn't going to be the only thing in my future. I have some other fun projects for things that I have found very useful for myself that I'm trying out, and once those hit a little more maturity in their design, then I'll be sharing those on Instagram more. So, actually, one of them that I did, I kind of put it on the back burner because the CW key orders have been absolutely insane. It's outside my wildest dreams there. I actually designed a more thermally efficient heatsink for the KX3. So I have a different heatsink for that. A lot of the kits out there I just wasn't happy with. So I actually went to one of the heatsink companies we used from one of my previous jobs and got them to make me a special profile of extruded aluminum for that. So I'm very excited about that.
And so that's a different design than the one with all the fins or the factory additional heat sink.
Yeah, most of those they're heat sinks by mass, not by heat dissipation.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep, exactly. So
Am I hearing you're putting some science behind it?
ooh, just a little. There's actually there's a great book out there. What is it called? I'm going to have to look it up. Hold on one second. There's a book that I suggest everyone read. My dad told me about it, and it helped me out when I was working as a controls engineer. So discuss amongst yourselves while I find that book.
All right.
Well,
I'm interested in talking to you about that KX3 sink because I have a KX3.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm looking to shed grams. I mean, I'm the guy who 6 weeks ago before my trip, I took out all 7 of my 10-watt dummy loads and the N to BNC adapter you see that I'm holding up on in camera here. And I weighed them out separately on my kitchen scale, and I trimmed 3 grams out of my kit, not because I needed to, but because I could. So now I'm on this, this weight loss binge with my KX3 kit.
Oh man.
Weight loss for ham radio operators.
Oh, I see the wheels moving on Aaron already.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, the name of the book, and all props go to my father Brian for this. The name of the book that I suggest everyone read if you want to learn about heat transfer is Hot Air Rises and Heat Sinks.
Oh, nice title.
Yeah, great title. I highly suggest that book. It's almost like thermodynamics for dummies, essentially, but it's a really good book there. So
nice.
So Jody has maybe not a question, but a comment / question. Aaron, you've got a PCB substrate in there, right? Ever try CNC milled PCB and do everything in house? Probably not economical, but it's yours.
So the first prototypes that I did machine out a single-sided PCB just to prove out the size, shape, and everything that I wanted that the parts could go on there. And I lucked out because literally right the next room over that you can't see, we have an entire Samsung pick and place line. So we have that was a part of my dad's business, and so anything that needs to go into a PCB that needs surface mount components, all the way down to little itty bitty beyond like 0805s. If I get that, beg my dad for some help, he'll make sure that we can actually assemble those. So we actually have a 5-axis robot that'll do 5-axis through hole soldering for us on stuff. It's pretty cool. So yeah, there's that's a whole nother section of the business that I'm going to try and tap into here soon, because we don't make the printed circuit boards themselves. The PCB manufacturing process is very chemically intensive, and the EPA has a lot of control over that, and zoning and things of that nature. So I don't want to have huge, 50,000 gallon vats of hydrochloric acid in the shop. So we still send that work out, and then we do the assembly here.
That's an interesting question. I know because of the tariffs and everything, PCB Way, those kind of places, everybody's having PCB boards made outside of the country, and that's an issue, and it's holding things up right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is that why one of the reasons? I know manufacturing outside of the United States is there, but because of all the EPA restrictions, do you think that is one of the contributing factors to why we're not seeing as much of that in the United States?
I don't have a good answer for you on that. I don't know the economics behind that, on whether or not that would be the case. I do know of a handful of PCB manufacturing shops. There's one in Chicago. We've used them before. There's also one that does quick turn work out in Colorado. We've used them. Obviously anything that you order through China, they've got lower labor costs. Like I said, I don't understand all the math, but they can do it, really inexpensively and really fast in a lot of cases. And they've got their quality control down for most of it. But there's also some shops in Germany that do really good work as well. So I couldn't answer that for you. Well, I think that there is enough work to keep all the shops in the United States busy, especially with things that need to be made in the United States, defense contracts, things like that. That's why the price is usually a lot higher in the U.S. is because they can demand that price because they've got prime government contractor sort of billing rates there.
Yeah, Chris Brooker, who actually designs PCBs by profession, said that's a big part of why they don't make them in the United States, or you don't see as many companies. Yeah, I would say though, I would be a little hesitant sending stuff to China like that, because you can almost guarantee that whatever you send is going to be sold
on AliExpress in a week,
but under another name.
I'm still waiting to see a copy of my key on Amazon. When that day happens, I will crack open a sugar-free white monster, and
there you go. And you've made it big, right?
Yeah, then that's how you know you've made it big. Right. Pudakeek actually has. They came out with one that's almost dimensionally accurate, the same way, like the outer dimensions are. It doesn't have the curve in it. Stuff doesn't have a window. I bought one of those to look at, and it's a different mechanism on the inside. And I broke it in about a week. I was intentionally abusing it though. So that I've actually pointed people in that direction. Anytime anyone's like, "Oh, your keys are so expensive," I just send them a link to that one, and I'm just like, "There you go, have fun."
Like I said, there are people out there that will pay the money for what you sell. And again, if you sell something that's higher price, there will be people out there. May not be the same amount of people, might be a smaller number of people, but there will be people out there to buy that, definitely.
When you're starting out, one of the $35 Pudakeeks is probably just fine.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
When you start getting serious about it, you start to realize that the slop in those keys absolutely drives you freaking bonkers, and that's when you come to a really nice key like the modern Morse.
Yep.
Or many of the others out
that's
there.
That's why they do the Baofangs. Baofangs are like $20 radios. If you're not sure if you're going to be interested in the hobby, I mean, you spent $20 on a cheap radio, and if you stick with it, then maybe down the road you'll go buy a Yaesu ICOM or Kenwood or whatever radio.
I hate to say it, but y'all have seen my joystick, my very first key, because I've shown that around 1.5 million times. And I never thought, after I bought my Bengali, that I'd ever buy another key. And suddenly, a week before the flea market, which was last Saturday, in which I made off like a bandit, I brought 6.5 Rubbermaid bins full of stuff and came home with one. So I did really well.
Yeah, that's a good ratio.
That was a great ratio. I've never hit it out of the park like that. Well, I landed up selling 4 of my keys. That's to say I had a dozen keys. I mean, these things, they gather because you want to try out different ones as your needs change and as your times change. So perfectly normal.
So Jody is just absolutely devious. I think we need a Geneva
tell us something we don't know.
I think we need a Geneva code section just for Jody, Vince. He says, my PCB designs are Trojan horses designed to lock up JLC PCB and PCB-ways machines, embedded nulls, code embedded optically, whatever other AI nightmares I can conjure up.
Yeah, Jody, just put your order in after I put in my next order for PCB boards, okay? Thanks.
Yeah. We need a special Geneva conventions just for Jody.
Yeah. that Jody and I could be friends. That's who just did that. Um, I went back to school recently, and I wanted to get another degree, so I went and studied cybersecurity. And the main reason why I was into cybersecurity was because from an industrial application, these machines, this the Steam G Mori behind me runs on Windows 7.
Ooh,
So
dang.
What
yeah,
is wrong with that? I have 3 Windows 7 boxes running in this shop.
yeah, and so that's why that machine is air gapped. So it's
Mine
a
aren't.
thing. Yeah. Oh well,
And
Vince.
they are not full. And I don't go surfing the internet on them, but they're behind a commercial grade firewall.
All
Hmm.
right, Aaron, here's a good one for you. This comes from James OEB. Have you used a ham key from St. Louis, and do you like them?
Have I used a ham key? Is that the brand name?
I guess so.
I don't. The only people in St. Louis that I know that make keys right now is Larry N0SA, a friend of mine, a mentor. I should really call him a mentor. He helped out a bunch.
Super nice man.
Super nice guy, yeah. And then I'm actually going to see him tomorrow morning. He's coming by the shop. We're gonna chat. And then the Brown brothers. They're from St. Louis. I mean, not around anymore, but they're from St. Louis and Modern Morse. And I'm trying to think. I'm going to have to look up ham key. I have not seen them. I'm going to have to look that up.
And Mark really wants to talk about these linkages. He says Saurus linkage.
Okay, I'm writing that one down too.
Yeah.
Mark, you and I are going to have a long Discord conversation soon.
And while we're at it, Vince, we're going to play your social calendar keeper. Jody would like to know if you're going to be at the candy store on Saturday. If so, he'll try to make it in town.
I will make all efforts to make it to the candy store. It's not a scheduled shift for me, but I'm on a day off. I'm working with my buddy Dan, who lives 926 feet away. There's a story there. I've told it before. Anyway, there is an atno that I'm trying to convince Dan we got to go hunt on Saturday.
Well, if you can't get Dan to do it, I'm sure Jody would want to. So James comes back.
Yeah, Jody's most welcome to come along and hang, because it's on his way back home.
I feel like a video is going to have to be made.
There will be a video made.
There will be a video.
So Aaron, James comes back. Ham Key is Ham Radio Center Incorporated. And yeah, James, if you want to send me a picture on Discord, I can bring it up on screen to show Aaron and everybody else. Absolutely.
I'm very interested in that. Because the other ham radio related business is Radio Waves. They're here in St. Charles. So, and I've actually, unbeknownst to me, I did not realize until I was in a booth, and they were in the booth next to us at, where were we at? Down in Huntsville. We were at the Huntsville Ham Fest. I had a booth there, and our booth was right next to Radio Waves. And I was like, man, I know those people from somewhere. And when I was a kid, I was in Civil Air Patrol as a cadet, and I actually was so two of the other cadets in my little squadron were two of the was HJ. So, oh yeah, I have two of those. So that's a Brown Brothers key.
That looks like, I was going to say, that looks like a Brown Brothers key for sure. Let me embiggenate that just a little bit. Oops, that's not what I meant. Oh well, that'll work too.
Yeah, maybe they sold off the design rights and somebody else picked it up and renamed the company, but that has the vibe of a Brown Brothers key.
Totally, it does. Yeah. That's pretty good looking stuff. Yeah, you can see it there.
Yeah.
The ham key coast St. Louis.
I like the finish on the base though. That reminds me of something you would see in like the 30s and the 40s.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's a crackle powder coat. So that N3ZN does the same thing, and I like it a lot.
Yeah, somebody one of the chat says ham keys are Brown Brothers ripoffs.
That's Chris W80X over in your chat, and TJ says like the old old school ham key HK1, not a great key. So, and then Jody says RCA phono plugs, interesting. Yeah,
indeed.
Yeah, TJ, I'm all about the artistic value. I don't care how well it dits and does.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Very cool.
Aaron, it has been very cool having you with us tonight, and telling us about your philosophies and about your gear. Needless to say, many of us love your keys, and glad your production has caught up to where lead time is just a couple of weeks. So that's pretty cool for people.
Yeah.
We're tickled Pinky came along this evening.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me. I really, really enjoy that. I met Tim a couple of years ago at Hamvention, so we've been in the same circles for a while. So thank you so much for the invite. I really do appreciate it. I'll tell you, I'm a little shy, so I get a little. I was totally stressed out most of the day thinking about being on a podcast. So.
Well, see, this isn't a podcast. This is the kids' table where we just come and chew the fat and have a good time.
I enjoy that. Yeah, that's good.
So right on, Frank. Jody says, great interview.
And rightfully so.
Yes. Jody says, great interview, Aaron. You do great work. Keep it up. Those keys are beauties.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Well, real quick, I did want to ask a question. You kind of mentioned it earlier for the We4DX group. Would you be interested if there were other groups out there like that where they wanted to do a group buy? Would you be interested in that? And how should they reach out to you? Okay. And
yeah.
what is the best way to reach out to you on that?
The best email right now is support@modernmorse.com. So that's the best way to get a hold of me. That's the best email. So
also earlier, I had asked everybody to get over there and hit that subscribe button. We are 4 subscribers away. We are at 496 from our goal of 500. So if you haven't done it already, please go over to the Ham Radio Kids Table channel and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, Frank is going to have to start singing.
And we don't want that.
Nobody wants that.
And I just dropped the Kids Table link over in Vince's chat again. TJ wants to know, Aaron, are you planning Hamvention?
Already planning it out. Got the Airbnb picked out. And we lucked out so much, and I shouldn't call it luck. I should once again, it's a team effort here, and my dad and I, even though we fight like cats and dogs as engineers, he has been my number one cheerleader running this business, and we were supposed to have like a flea market spot at Hamvention last year, and somehow my dad comes up to, I already had, we had that booked and ready to go. And then he comes in and says, hey, I made a couple phone calls, and now we're going to be in one of the main buildings right next to DX Engineering. And I was like, how did you do that? So,
Dad.
Yeah,
so
heck yeah.
You're going to be in building 1.
Yeah, so we'll be in building 1. Because as long as we get to keep the same spot, apparently once we get it, as long as we play nice, we get first dibs at that spot.
You get first dibs on that spot. Yeah, I couldn't believe the spot you're in. You're right at the main aisleway. It was great for traffic.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I think I stopped out in front of your booth because the Carlson, the tower people were right next to you, right? And I didn't, for like 3 hours, I didn't even move from that spot. People were walking up. You start running into people that you've met over the years, and I don't think I even left that little corner right there in front of your booth for probably close to 3 hours.
Yeah, it was a busy foot traffic because like you're coming right in that, like people, pay, get their badges, they walk right in, and they're like 30 feet from the booth. I mean, once they get in there, that's
that's awesome.
All right. Here we go, Aaron. Jody says, Ham Radio Kids Table group buy. Tim gets his key last, though.
I'm fine with that.
And then Chris W80X, little late to chat here, but that's okay. He says, I would like a Stormtrooper edition. Are you going to do another run?
The problem with the Stormtrooper key is you can never hit your dits and daws.
Oh yeah, set the phasers to stun.
There we go.
Man,
I'm sorry, that one deserves this.
Yes, it does.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
All right, we're getting there. 498. 498. We just need 2 more people. 2 more.
Well,
I'm gonna have to get Mark on here. Mark is like the Jerry Lewis of telethons when it comes to getting people to do things. I'm gonna have to get Mark in the live chat here or in the stream to.
You threatened I would sing if we don't get to 500 tonight. Jason Lockwood wants me to sing.
Hey, Tim, can you find that button again?
I tell you what, Jason, if you want to go to ARRL.org/TI and donate to the Teachers Institute, we will get Frank to sing for you.
Yes.
How much does he have to donate?
Oh, I don't know.
250 or more. That
250.
I will not do anything less than. Hey, other Tim's in chat. EOD Kaboom. Tim, I saw you working somebody on 12 meters earlier today. Very cool.
Oh,
And
is
he
that
says,
I think I
Tim
know
in
that.
Guam.
Yes,
Love my
absolutely.
Aaron.
Yes, absolutely. That was I thought that was so tickled pink when I got to ship a key to Guam. So that was super cool. So.
Oh wait, hold on, Jason. We need proof. We need proof that you've donated to TI. He says, "Done deal, 1,000."
He probably donated 1,000 pennies. What are you talking about? You didn't say dollars. You said 200. Or you said 250.
But Vince clarified $250. So. Oh, see, James knows me too well. If Frank sings, hit that mute button.
Yeah, there we go. Well, we are at 499. I'm starting to get the walk-off music here. We don't want that. But if just one more person, if you could just one more person hit that.
Am I subscribed?
Hit that subscribe.
Do it.
Do it.
There we go.
We all know you have alternate accounts.
That's right.
Hey, Aaron, what do you got coming up this week, man?
So this week I'm getting the rest of the zombie keys shipped out. We just finished all the laser engraving on those today. And so that's what we'll be working on there. And apparently I will be doing some prototype work on a single lever, probably over the weekend. So, because I've already got some ideas. You guys have re-inspired me a little there. So,
right on.
Yeah,
great.
That's what I got there. And, hit the gym because I'm in a new program for I'm a disabled vet, so there's a program out there for them, and they get me into the gym 3 days a week, and they're solving all sorts of problems I have with my lower extremities. And man, we are weird. It's I don't walk straight, but that's just because they pound us really hard in the gym. But I enjoy it. So
yeah, good for you, man. So, well, again, thanks for being here. Hey, Jeff, what do you got coming up, man?
Yes, it was great to have you here tonight, Aaron. I enjoyed it a lot. I mentioned it earlier. You probably missed it there, Vince. Anyone that won the 2,000 subscriber giveaway, the 7 people, those are finally packed up and ready to be shipped. I'm probably going to drop them off at the post office sometime tomorrow during work or after work. We'll see. But they should be coming out. You should be getting them with 3 business days or so. And Brian, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer. It's probably going to be stopped at the border. But yeah, I need to get out, do a pod activation. I got some other things I need to be taken care of. I've been working on a website. It's changed in 25 years, and I'm having a harder time with WordPress than I did with just straight HTML code. So that'll be something I'll be working on. Hopefully I can get out this weekend. I do not know what the weather's like going to be here in Delaware, but we'll see.
And hit me up, man. I know something about WordPress.
Cool.
Okay. Frank, what do you got coming up, buddy?
Oh, I was going to go to you. Vince, what about you?
Well, I asked you first.
Okay.
There's method to my madness.
Oh, I know there is. There always is. NorCal SwapNet tomorrow night. Q&AMA, aka Fridays with Frank on Friday. I am working on something in the background here that I think about half the ham radio community might like. Well, it's going to stay tight-lipped and super secret for a long time. except for these 4 guys and one other person. Nobody knows exactly what it is. So we'll, I will be making a video when I am done with this project. So we'll have a video coming out of it as well.
Ooh.
And hello to Miss Kim K6YYL in the chat. She was $499 for the kids' table tonight. So
Awesome.
I think that's good enough. I'm not going to sing for tonight, but you never know what's going to happen on Friday. So come check out Fridays with Frank on my channel and see what happens.
Tim, get ready to hit on the mute button. Tim, what do you got coming up this week, man?
Well, let's see. Gosh, man, I wasn't ready to be on the spot. Vince, what you got coming up this week?
Well, see, dude, you were going to ask me last, and you would take the control back from me. But what I've got coming up this week is I'm actually heading out to lovely Banff, Alberta on Friday. I'm taking a day off, and I'm going to go out there.
Nice.
And I've got planned to do a soda and a POTA. And the POTA is a CW Atno. So it's a nice, easy drive up, and I'm really hoping the weather holds. And my small 1-point-something kilometer hike or point-something kilometer hike up to the top of Tunnel Mountain will be easy for my soda activation. So that's coming up. Saturday, I'm heading out to an undisclosed location that Jody and Mr. Mudd have not discovered and has not yet been activated. So stay tuned, and I'm hoping to grab video from at least 2 of those.
Well, you know Jody's in the chat, so he'll have it figured out in the next hour. So
well, there are plenty, but he doesn't know which one I'm going to.
Fair enough. Tim, what about you? What are you up to?
Oh, like Jeff. Hey, I've got a new website out. So same address, graymanpota.com. It's kind of a refresh, but I also have a mailing list on there now. So if you guys would like, go ahead and get signed up. I'm going to actually be using that as the kind of the list now going forward on giveaways. So sometimes putting things up in the stream are just too much of a pain. So we'll be doing that. We did, by the way, Frank, you're safe. We did hit 500, so we are now officially at 500 subscribers for the.
Well, Frank is safe, but we're not.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
And you might need to adjust the volume on that stuff, Frank.
Yeah, I thought that might have been a little
just a little hot by about 35 dB.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Better?
No. Anyway,
continue on.
But yeah, just I'm having fun getting out there. I'm going to start thinking about how I'm going to keep myself warm. I'm doing the Sunday morning live streams, which are going to be a little odd for me because this week the time's changing back. I understand.
Yep.
So I'll be losing an hour, gaining an hour.
You'll be gaining an hour. Clocks go back 1 hour Sunday morning. I think it's like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And we will be on standard time. So use EST, CST, MST.
Oh, PST. Guys, it's not that complicated. Just put everything.
I know it's not complicated, but
just put it in Zulu.
Right?
That's interesting because I like to get to the park at about 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time, and so I get a half an hour before Zulu, the new day, and do about a half an hour after. So I get the 2 days covered in one trip to the park, and it works out great because I got kids and family time and dinner and all that stuff, and now I'm gonna have to push the kids off to the side so I can go activate.
So Jody, not only did Tim get the big D tonight, we all here at the kids table got the big D. By the way, D in Roman numerals is 500, so that's where that's going. And Jody, absolutely, let's just stop changing the clocks and do what we do and have fun.
Like Vince said, everybody just be on Zulu time and we're good to go. Yeah. So hey, let's get out of here. Let's go have fun. Got a couple more live streams coming up this week. Don't forget Friday night with Frank. Digital Rancher's got his late shift on Friday nights, which has been interesting. Saturday is Josh. Sunday is Tank
Jason.
Frank and
Tank Frank,
Jason.
Jason.
Yep. So make sure you go follow the channels and check everything out.
And of course,
And,
don't forget the playlist tomorrow night with Coffee and Ham Radios after.
Absolutely. Oh, and a little show note for next week. Freddie Mac will be celebrating his 9,000 subscribers, and we're going to do that here on the Kids Table. So make sure you check in. He's got some stuff to give away. So till then, everybody have a great week. We will chat at you later. And 73.
See ya, everybody.